Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of NCOPD Live, hosted by yours truly, Staff Sergeant Hicks, hashtag the professional SGL, coming at you live as always from Fort Lee, Virginia. Listen, we got the special guest. He's in the building, but before we even get him to talking, I got a shout out that I want to give a special shout out to Staff Sergeant Marquita Jackson. Let me tell you, this NCO is coming on NCO PD Live.
Okay.
And we're going to be hitting on MRT. And when I tell you that her impact of what she's going to make,
that's good. Yep.
She's the right person for the job. So definitely want to shout out Staff Sergeant Marquita Jackson. I know she's probably going to be tripping that I even said her name, but yes, Sergeant, we are highlighting you in this moment. Get ready to see her on NCO PD Live on June 3rd. She'll be coming on the NCO PD Live. But nevertheless, listen, we got him. He's in the building. The one and only Master Sergeant Christian Price. Hey, how you doing today, Top?
Man, I'm doing great, brother. I'm thankful, I'm alive, bro. I'm alive.
All right, so listen, before we even get started, man, tell myself and the followers a little bit about you, who you are, current duty location, hobbies, whatever you want us to know.
Well, if anyone knows me, I believe in transparency. So more importantly, 17 and a half years in the United States Army, active duty, born Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, North Philly, Germantown Avenue, raised in the great state of Georgia, military brat, joined the military. I had no admirations at joining the military. I did not, never see myself wanting to join the military, but humble beginnings had got me here to where I'm at today. With that being said, coming from those humble beginnings and great standards of discipline, has led my journey into the United States Army, where I've served in numerous units, been deployed 5 times. I have a beautiful son. He's 13 years old, but also he's a pain, because the only thing he talks about sometimes he always talks about, AAU basketball, but more importantly, he's definitely embedded and invested into his school. So that's what I'm very, very thankful of the most. Also, my mom, my 3 sisters, all my close family, friends, throughout the United States, throughout the world. But more importantly, I love the United States Army, everything, what is providing, what is as far as the foundation, and, more importantly, the NCO Corps, the backbone, definitely with some outstanding leaders, has raised me to where I'm at today. 2-time first sergeant, but more importantly, I'm here today as the United States Army Master Sergeant, serving here in Washington, D.C. I work for the Soldier for Life program. All right.
Okay. Soldier for Life. So, that's something big that the Army's pushing nowadays, and we at the Pentagon. Okay.
The 3 levels of leadership: direct, or organizational, and strategic level. So,
okay.
I'm thankful to serve. I'm glad I have the opportunity to serve.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. So I like to get my guests every now and then when they come in on the show. I don't never tell them I'm gonna do something out of the blue. So
okay.
You said you was born in Philly.
Born in Philly, North Philly, Germantown Avenue.
But raised in Georgia.
Raised in the great state of Georgia. So
I think you see where I'm going with this. So I'm finna ask you now: Are you an Eagles fan? Or are you a Falcons fan?
So I'm gonna be honest with you.
Before you answer this, so when you come onto the platform, it's like you're under oath. Because my viewers and my followers know I never lie to them.
Can we do that first?
Okay. So what we got?
All right. Christian Dion Price, do solemnly
swear
or affirm to tell the whole truth
and nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
Let's go.
Okay, so question: Are you an Eagles or Falcons fan?
I am an Eagles fan.
76ers or Hawks fans?
I am when it comes to basketball. I'm a Michael Jordan. I grew up watching, Mike. I love Michael Jordan. I grew up watching the greatest of all time. However, I will definitely root for those 76ers though. I would definitely root for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a bandwagoner. He's a bandwagoner. I assure you all that I did not know this prior to him getting on the show.
I'm like I'm being ambushed. It's all good.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good, Tom. So listen, so first and foremost, man, I appreciate you accepting the invitation to come on. I've been hyped about this. We got a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, let's talk about health and fitness as it relates to the military. Why is it important? Let's talk about why is it important to you first, and then elaborate on why it's important to the military.
Well, first things first, health. I mean, overall, in regards to where we're at, right, and where we're going in the future. I love the fitness. I think overall health is wealth, and what you put into your body, definitely have that effects of it. But from an overall standpoint, I love working out. I love running. I love just staying active. My grandfather is it's about 70. He's 76 years old. And one of the things that he does, and he's always, preached to me, and what I've watched with my uncles as well, is that, they work out, they get after it. And yeah, they're not throwing up it, throwing 350 in the gym, but they just staying active. My grandfather, he's an avid walker. He loves to walk. He'll take off and ruck some miles on you. You know what I mean? But for overall standpoint, for me, I just love physical fitness. Anything activity wise, where building, you're getting some sweat, you're getting some blood, tears and sweat out of it. I'm definitely all for it. I'm all about that.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question. It relates to physical fitness and relates to the Army.
Okay.
Of course, the Army has we were at the time is now been postponed. So let's make sure we use the correct words, because you're going to hear this a lot between me and him. Okay. Words matter.
Words have meaning.
It have meaning.
Yes, sir.
It has been postponed. It has not been canceled. In regards to the Army transitioning from the APFT to the ACFT, what are some of the pros that you see about it? And if you would like to address some of the stigmas that may be out there as far as leadership in regards to physical fitness with the new Army Combat Fitness Test.
Well, so let me rephrase that question for me, because I want to make sure that the audience and everyone hears this correct. Go ahead again. I'm sorry. So
with the Army transitioning from the APFT to the new ACFT, would you like to address some pros that you see about it? And also on the back end of that question, would you like to address some of the stigmas that may be out there regarding the new ACFT in regards to fitness?
The pros are, the obvious pro is that, that service member, that soldier has the opportunity, to showcase all 4K, all levels of fitness, when it comes to all the events. Therefore, somebody's strong suit that is just running, that is the last, that's the last event. But that's what I love about it. One, and then two, from a core standpoint, you definitely, it's a reflection of what you've been putting into it, on all those events. Three, also what I love about it is that we're getting after it. We're definitely getting after it. I tell, when I'm in the gym, I'm not trying to isolate and focus just on, one or two muscle groups. I'm definitely focusing on the whole body concept of either doing the deadlift or, doing, just, everything all about it, so it's definitely a maximized benefit that I see that we definitely need definitely needed as a force. Mm-hmm. Now, from the stigmas, I mean, that stuff can be looked at in either different way. Some service members, may have negative stigmas towards it or whatever. But what I try to tell leaders of all ranks who have stigmas towards the new ACFT is that, just take the good with the bad with it, and if you're unable to meet this event or whatever the case may be, build yourself back up within time, that you can go ahead and be able to, do that event. I'm not asking a service member to go out here and, tear their hamstring or, rupture Achilles or strain muscles or pull or hurt themselves or anything like that. But, I would just say, you just got to change change the mindset. And once you change the mindset and say, okay, I can't get after it in this way, but there are other ways I can build myself up to get back up to, to maximize myself at that event or all the events.
Mm-hmm. So I would say this. So in relation to health and physical fitness and coming with the new Army Combat Fitness Test, a lot of things, like I've noticed that we have to change the way we eat, our eating habits.
Yes.
Because it's not like in the words Sergeant Major Smalls, when he was on here one time, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna wake up. You're not gonna wake up in the morning and just go take the ACFT like you did the APFT. It's just not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, right?
So talk about some of the things that you use as far as proper eating techniques and habits, if you would like to share any of your ideas that work best for you.
Right. I think the first thing that I had to work for me was my eating habits of fried food. I love, some Popeyes, I definitely love, an abundance of Chick-fil-A, McDonald's in the morning. But one of the things that I started learning about my body is with the sit up and the core events. I couldn't, that maximum, output I can put out each event wasn't going to be there for the third or fourth event, for the leg tuck, it's like, there was no way my eating habits of consistently eating fried foods, whether it was 3 times out the week or whether it was just on that Saturday and Sunday, was going to help me achieve those desired results that I wanted to see myself, wanted to see myself, one, do, but more importantly, 2, be out in front of a formation and then my soldiers see me and it's like, damn, Mass Sergeant or, First Sergeant sitting up here dying, and he can't get right, so, but I definitely had to change my eating habits. I had to, started drinking a lot of water, stretching, that was definitely the huge challenge for me, getting in the gym or just start stretching on my off time. But lastly, what I would definitely advocate, that I would tell any service members is that, hey, fruits and vegetables are definitely a much needed, reserve for you, and it definitely help you out in the long run when you're doing this, when you're doing the events.
Okay. So we both agree. So here's me. When I first heard about the new Army Combat Fitness Test, I was like, man, look, listen. So once again, I don't have to take the oath because my friends because top, they know whenever I hit this go live button, I'm gonna keep it 100 with them.
Got to.
So when I first heard about the ACFT, I was like, man, we got people that can't even pass 3 events. Y'all trying to go to 6? Like what? And then y'all kept that 2-mile run. But I was an advocate. I was an advocate for it because, number one, I'm not a runner, right? But I felt the pain of those that ran.
Right.
And I still get out there. When I was on the podium, I still got out there and ran. Whenever the academy went on the run, I didn't violate my profile. I can't run no more than the mile, and I got to stop. I got heart problems.
Right.
But I still got out there, ran, called cadence, but I pushed myself to continue to go. But when they first heard about the ACFT, I was like, man, look, this is gonna be brutal. But when we first did it at the academy, I was like, oh man, this ain't bad. You know, like I was excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely agree with you when you say you got to change the mindset of how you view it in relation to physical fitness. In my professional opinion, I think the Army got it right.
I did.
Getting after it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I still got some questions about that 2-mile run, but I think they got it. I think they got it right. I like it.
You know what? I believe at the end of the day, the way everyone trains now out in the world. So just not even from a Army perspective. I just think from an optics. You know, when you look at, you know, these events or these other, there's push-ups, sit-ups, and the run gets it right, gets it right halfway. But I think the added events, you know, that level of stress goes up a little bit more, or just that conscious mindset. You know, you got to think about it. You know, when I was up there at the NCO Academy, it was that mindset where, okay, I do 3 events and I'm good. So, you know, I could honestly, you know, psych myself up, okay, to say, okay, my push-ups, you know, I can knock out 75 push-ups easy. Sit-ups, I'm gonna get you about 70, 65 or 70. At 2 mile, you know, I can take off because I'm a runner. I'm a natural runner. So I already know in my mind, you know, but caveat on what you said, you know, I think, you know, the mindset, what we're definitely implementing is definitely going to be headed for, you know, it's headed for the best, you know, and you know, everyone sometimes, you know, we are like-minded in certain areas when we come to resistance of change a little bit. But once you look at it, you're like, man, you know what, this is effective. It's definitely going to be efficient to help everyone out out here in the future in the force.
I do. I totally agree with you. Like I said, I think we got it right. So I'm injured right now from practicing, getting ready for the ACS. Oh, wow. I tore my left rotator cuff in 2 muscles. Doing the leg tuck during PRT. I'll never forget when it happened. I thought it was just a strained muscle, you know, self-medicate and know, little bio-free, that little, you know, I'm on the other side of 40.
Right.
You know, so I figured, you know, as this time
goes on, right.
When I went to actually get the MRI, and it came back that the muscle was torn in 2 locations.
Oh wow!
And I was like, wow, like, you know, but I didn't let it discourage me. And then on top of that, they turned around and they canceled, or they postponed the ACFT. You know, and I was looking forward to, you know, doing my diagnostic and, you know, getting it out the way, getting the 2 out the way for the fiscal year. So it was like a part of me, I kind of like went into like, man, you know, I wanted to really hit this, but you know, anytime I'm in physical therapy, I'm giving 100% to get back, because I want to take this test, because I know there's a lot of naysayers out there, but when you actually change your mindset, I'm ready to take this test. So you know, and give it my all. So I'm definitely pushing to get myself back.
It's a crawl, walk, and run phase, though. You know,
it is. It is.
Yep.
It is. And I'm glad you said that. Let's highlight that for a minute. The crawl, walk, run phase. And like stated, you're not going to be able to just get up and just take this test on any given morning. Because I mean, let's be honest, Top. We done all been, well, let me just talk about me. It's been some times, man.
Hey, I'm human. I put my pants on just like you, baby.
It's been some times, man. I knew on a weekend I'm going out, I'm hanging with the family. I'm going out. And as we say, I'm about to get lit.
Right.
No, I got an APFT on Monday.
Easy.
Right. So I'm like, man, shoot. I'm finna get, and don't let it be a 4-day.
Nah.
Because you start drinking Thursday night.
I'm about to sip good, drink good.
Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and you ain't just getting obliviated, but you getting right. But there was never a concern,
right,
in my opinion, about an APFT. I get up, boom. Now I got to push up, now I got to sit up, boom, walk, I'm getting it. I'm gone. I'm straight.
Right.
But this ACFT brings a sense of pause that there's like you said, there's a crawl, walk, run phase, and you have to actually prepare yourself, because think about it, we're working out a lot of muscles that we normally don't work out on a normal APFT.
Right.
Care to share?
Right. So I believe the first time, I say the first time it actually hit me is when I got to do the last event, and I'm psyching my mind up for the run, and I'm like, okay, I'm tired, but I'm not that tired. You know what I mean? It's like I can push through. But once I hit that first mile, I almost pulled my hamstring real bad, just because I had that, lack of water, and I'm taking it for actually as a joke. I'm like, okay, I can do this easy, but that first time I attempted to take the ACFT, I was down and out, man. I was definitely out. But many times I definitely, push the needle. And I tell you, I got a true story. I was in E4, and I don't know if anybody out there that was out there with me in 3rd Special Forces Group, but I failed a PT test. And it was in front of my peers and my NCOIC. And my NCOIC pulled aside. He was like, "Price, what have you been doing?" And when I failed the PT test, Blackie, mild, 211, Colt 45 drinker on the weekends. That was my getaway.
Colt 45,
C45s, what we used to call. All right, in my younger days, long time ago. Long. But I failed that PT test, man. I failed it with flying colors on the sit-ups. And from that day on, I was like, man, this will never, ever, ever happen again. So 30 days later, got right back into it, and from that day on, man, I've been taking off with flying colors, man. But yeah, the drinking and the smoking definitely caught up to me as a youngin'. I was just black and mild all day, drinking, partying with the fellas and the ladies, and it caught up to me big time.
Yeah, and that goes back into health as well, as some of the things that we put in our bodies. We counteract the progression that we're trying to do as far as like getting ready for the ACFT. Yep. So I know we haven't hit on it, but we definitely got to be cognizant of the things that we put in our body as well, as in relates to health.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? So I got to call you Top, because that's what I'm.
Nah, it's all good, man. I get that all the time. It's all good.
I want to talk to you about, and this is a hot topic. A lot of leaders come on here and talk about it, man. Leadership. Leadership. Yeah. Let me. Well, I ain't got no wine today. I've never drank in front of NCOPD Live. I don't never tell my guests what they can't do in their house. So I just got some good old Deer Park water.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll back that up with some essential right here. I got some essential water right here behind you.
Yeah. I just got some good old Deer Park water. But I want to talk to you about leadership, and in relates to leadership, the withhold of information. There's a break in that communication phase. And I know, so a lot of people don't know, but this is not scripted. He don't know what I'm going to ask him.
No,
and I'm definitely not trying to put him on the spot, but there's a break in communication that we seem to want to hold on to information. What are your thoughts as far as leadership, and when it relates to being in the communication realm as leaders? Well, let me ask you, why is it important? Why is communication important as a leader?
Communication. So I can't speak for everyone. I'm just gonna speak for myself. What the best leadership, good, bad, or indifferent leaders that I've had. But I tell you, I think communication is very important on in all three phases, in all three phases of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how it's being communicated, I've never once heard, and I used to always say this to the SGLs at the academy, was that I never once heard an organization or somebody in your personal life say you over communicate. You communicate too much. You get what I'm saying? I've never heard this since I've been in the military. I've never had chatters of leaders or my peers, seniors say, or my subordinates, say, we communicated too much. You kind of taken back, like, okay, well, what's the issue then? I just thought that that's a good practice.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in forms of communication where some meetings don't need to be called for. Sometimes, that, and this is just my professional opinion, sometimes, that meeting could have just been an email, and that's a form of communication. Or however that email should have translated into a meeting. If you catch my drift, if you pick up what I'm putting down with that. But I believe in good units do routine things routinely when it comes to communication, or just routine things routinely. And if everyone from the top to the bottom is receiving the information on a day-to-day basis, all the suspenses and things like that in regards to changes, or you can't go wrong with that. You just can't go wrong with that at all. Just can't go wrong.
So since we're talking about communication, a lost art of communication in the Army right now is counseling.
Ooh.
So I definitely want to hit on this this topic in relation to leadership. If you was looking at the youngest sergeant, once again, my followers know
AI on this. We talking about counseling.
We talking about counseling. We sitting here talking about counseling because let's be real, top. It's not getting done.
Wow.
If you had a room full of sergeants E5s at that rank,
right.
What message would you give over to them of why counseling is important?
I mean,
because that's the in my opinion, that's the group that we have to reach.
So that's funny that you say that, because at the squad leader level, and I'll even go to the staff sergeants on this.
Okay.
The staff sergeants, there's a I don't like implied expectations and stuff like that. I don't the leaders that I had with me, they didn't say, okay, you're a sergeant, so I know you got this. That was never, just because you're high speed or you're airborne, you're high speed, so I know you got this. No, there was never that expectation. However, they expected me to counsel my soldiers all the time. That to me, the most important thing is the initial counseling, because the initial counseling, you're laying out your daily duties and responsibilities, the scope, the mission, the intent, the vision statement. If you're, if you're understanding it at that level, but basically you're giving this service member or this soldier the guide to how to be successful within the unit, and how what you expect them to be on and off duty. Now, that initial counseling then tears off onto the quarterly counseling, because if I'm looking into now I'm translating this now from a E5, from a staff sergeant to an E5. If you catch my drift when I'm talking about that. So when we talking about counseling from that standpoint, with an NCO, now the expectation is saying, okay, initial counseling. Here's the expectations. Here's what we're looking at. Here's your senior rater. Here's what he or she is looking at. Now I have a clear guide. I have a clear path on what right looks like, or at least I should. And then once we get into the quarterly counseling, then we talk about, okay, what have you done within this quarter? And then it builds, each counseling builds within within itself. So when it's time for that service, for that soldier's NCOER or that NCO's NCOER to be ready, it's already done. It's already done. The only thing you got to do is take the bullets and plug and play them in that NCOER. Now, when we're talking about now your E1 to E4, when I came up, I'm not speaking. I hate to talk like when I came up. I hate to use that as a reference, but one of the things that I love the NCOs who train me is that they counsel me every month. So when I made E5 or when I went to the board, it was like, my sergeant major sat there at the table and was like, he was like, God damn, it's like the recipe speaks for itself. Great job, Sergeant Jacob Cannonberry. And from that day on, I just told myself, each one teach one when it comes to that masterpiece of counseling. But counseling to me is non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. I mean, it's not up for discussion. It's not here to be politic, or it's not here to be of a bipartisanship, or there's no politics to this. You know what I mean? It's effective, but more importantly, for the NCO Corps, is definitely detrimental to members, path of success. And path of success is different in everyone's eyes. Some people, some leaders want to retire out as just a staff sergeant, or some leaders want to retire out as an E5. And I like to look at it like this: if I effectively counseled that service member up until their ETS, up until that service member transitioning out of the military, I did my job, because now the messaging, because that's the key thing, right? If I that soldier from day 0 when they got to that unit, from day 0 to day 30 to that initial counseling, and I kept that same energy every month for the next 36 months, 70, 72, 84, whatever, and I kept that same drive for that soldier. Now, what will that soldier say when they get out of the military? What do they say? They say, wow, Staff Sergeant Hicks took care of me. And then that message, right? That message goes into the strategic world, because we all got to think strategic one day of what? Retention, right? All right. So now when I tell my battle buddy or a friend of mine who's interested in joining the military, I know I can't influence on where they're going or whatever, but I'll say, hey, look, I had this NCO, I had this sergeant I had from E1 to E5. He at least made sure he knew who I was, what I was doing, how my family was doing, my kids was doing. off duty, on duty. But it wasn't just with the rank. It wasn't with just the rank of a sergeant, you know, or that pay grade. You know, that leader was a non-commissioned officer. And you know, those things have, you know, second and third order effects within any organization, the climate, you know, and it definitely be, you know, all the way effective and definitely pushing out here into the force for huge light years to come, you know. And then also I'll give you something else.
What's that?
That platoon leader, right? When that platoon leader and that platoon sergeant are heavily, I want to say the platoon leader, but the platoon sergeant is heavily engaged. As an NCOIC, that NCOIC of that section is heavily engaged. I don't care if you got 1, 2, 3, or 4 soldiers. When that service member is engaged with the team, man, it's a beauty how the organization and the culture of that organization are definitely set up for success. And that right there, that right there is influential of step 0 and 1. I don't even like to call it day 1, day 0. Where my day zeros at? Day 0, the service member came to the unit and he was taken care of right then and there. And it's not. I say it again, and all NCOs who serve with me, leaders have served with me. Counseling is non-negotiable. I need to know how well or what am I doing effectively, good, bad, or indifferent. You know.
You spoke about a lot of things, and basically, like someone said in the comments, you basically described engaged leadership, and they took my next point. But since we're there, engaged. I believe it comes back to us as NCOs, and I say us as NCOs, as leaders, owning it, taking ownership of counseling. That is what we're supposed to do as non-commissioned officers, as leaders. I feel that in some aspects that we have lost that ownership, or we have passed it off or passed the buck, and we're not taking it serious. But I would say this, for NCOs, and I don't know if, let me hold on.
Hey, words have meaning.
For NCOs, let me just say something real quick. For NCOs that have leaders up under them, that fail to do counselings, but you make sure that your report card is done right, that is hypocritical in my eyesight.
Great choice of words. I like that.
Because we take that sense of ownership for our report card to be right. Why not make sure we take care of that person that's up under us, our subordinates, to make sure that their report card is done right? And it goes back to saying that we have to be engaged. It's more than just showing up in the motor pool, seeing if you PMCS in the truck. We ain't going to the smoke shack. I know. I've been there. I seen my NCOs, you know, as I came through the ranks, they'd be over there in the smoke shack. We over there PMCS and trucker. We talking about y'all. We talking about them. They over there smoking a cigarette. They ain't over here helping us PMCS truck because we're not engaged. And then let's just take it this. We're only engaged when it suits our case, when somebody comes around. That's not engaged leadership. Would you agree?
Man, spotlights, you know, spotlight soldiers, you know, or spotlight leaders.
So my thing is if we as a non-commissioned officers corps, especially as it relates to being engaged in counseling, we have to be fully committed to the cause. We have to be fully committed to the mission. Not we got it at, you know, all of these other things, and this is why I tell people, be careful what you ask when you talk about you want to become an NCO. Because somebody said they got to do their counseling on the weekends. Oh, that's at the top. Be careful when you talking about you want to be an NCO, because you still got to do your counseling. You still got to make sure the missions is right. You still got to make sure you do your APLT. You still got to one of those pillars. You still have to self-develop yourself. You still have to take care of the health of yourself, take care of the health of your family at home, your soldier's family. But people think that becoming an NCO, that, oh, I just put the rank on and I'm good. No, you have to be engaged. You have to take ownership of becoming a non-commissioned officer.
Yeah. I saw somebody out there. Let me paint you a picture. Yeah. Let me paint this picture, right?
Okay.
I think when I say day 0 and day 1, when you take care of a soldier, I think a lot of times what happens, right? And I've seen this at all levels. It's we forget where we came from in regards to how we got there, and we try to it's like I got there, I got mine attitude. It's just some, but I think that learned behavior, because that leader witnessed this, right? Mm-hmm. And now they assumed that, man, when I get the rank of sergeant, or whatever, or staff sergeant, or sergeant first class, or master sergeant, first sergeant, that when I get there, I'm going to be just like him or her. And we got to get away from that mindset, and it's sad that it's definitely happening. But if we take our mindset and say, hey, look, if my son or daughter, was to sign up and join today in the United States Army, I would want Staff Sergeant Hicks to provide outstanding leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what right? All soldiers are entitled to what?
Outstanding leadership.
Outstanding leadership, right?
And I will provide it.
And I trust that you will. So I believe that we got to just sometimes just take the mindset and say, if my son or daughter was in this formation, I would want this leader to provide, effective communication, effective counseling, but more importantly, effective leadership, because it's direct. We're right there. We're right there in the cut, and if you can kind of paint that picture of a mindset of your child, not calling them a child, you could kind of have that, that mindset, you could definitely change things, but it's definitely, it's proven effective. It's proven when effective when you're being audited, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's had that unit, right? When, the brigade comes down, or the division, or whoever from at the one, and they're going to say, okay, hey, look, everybody trying, we trying to get this streamer or this award or whatever the case may be for the unit, for the battalion, for the company. But when you've already been fully committed into that vision of that leadership there, it's easy. You get what I'm saying? If you understand my drift, it's easy when day 0, you can counsel, you can have your E5s already counseling, taking squared away. It's easy when the staff sergeants and the sergeant first classes and the master sergeants and everybody's quarterly counselings, initial counselings it's already set up. It's already set up for success. Mm-hmm. So when they come on down and do their, checks and balances or whatever the case may be, it's pretty simple. It's fairly simple. I mean, it's really simple. But you definitely brought up some great points. I appreciate it.
I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question. I see another question I'm gonna bring up here in a second. Mr. Eric Christ says, is effective counseling only achieved by putting everything on paper?
So I wish they could elaborate that a little bit more. Is effective counseling only achieved by putting everything on paper?
So
yeah, I mean,
no. So so if when I first read it, when you say putting everything on paper, if a person is late the first day, if they late the second day, if they late 3 days in a row, putting it on paper or to that nature.
I mean, there's a that's what I call with that initial counseling statement. Once we do that day zero, I can only speak for myself, but all the NCOs that I've had the opportunity to serve with and work with, and even the leaders that I served for, it was automatic. Day zero, day one, I knew where I was supposed to be, what times. I knew how, the uniform. It was already expected after day zero when I did that initial counseling. So I believe that, once or twice, you're late or whatever. I'm not going. This is just my Christian Dion Price, Master Sergeant type lead thought process. Once or twice, we're human, you know what I mean? But then when it's a consistent, the consistency goes on, then that's when we put it on paper. And I tell NCOs this. I've told all NCOs this. Game changers in the NCO realm are letters. When you are, served a letter of concern, I'm telling you right now, that right there, man, look, you want to see somebody get serious the next day? You know how it is like that. You know how it is. It's like when you're in school, right? When you're in school and then your mom or dad walks in and they walk in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. Been that done that.
Yeah, when they walking in the classroom, that kind of, oh, wow, that's what's going to happen. Those are game changers. A letter of concern, a letter of reprimand. Those things right there will get you to act right. And it change your whole posture. Your whole posture change. Like you'll see that NCO come back the next week or next day and say, hey, you know what? Screw it. I understand the counseling. But letters, because most, most sergeant majors, they getting that vetted. That sergeant major getting that vetted by JAG. And then once that battalion commander or brigade commander or wherever you at in the formation sits down with you and gives you a letter, it
just got real.
It just got real, because from that point on, you can't, you only know what right. There's no gray area. There's no gray area on that. But,
okay. Yep. So we got another question. Question for both of you all. Okay. Is there such thing as a bad soldier, sailor, marine, or airman, etc.?
No, there's no.
That
term. No, that term. That. Look, I was a bad soldier. You know what I mean? I was a knucklehead. But it took some mentorship, some guidance. To help me. That coach, teach, mentor. That process where I had somebody that didn't give up on me. A very good friend of mine, best friend was, I had heard of him in a different battalion, and they assumed because we're from the state of Georgia that, I had ties to him, and I was like, I didn't even know who he was, but once that new leader came in, changed his whole mindset, changed his whole world. Changed his whole world. And now guess where he's at right now?
Where?
NCO Center. Hey, he's a sergeant major. So I don't believe in bad. That's that right there is
So I don't believe that there's such thing as a bad soldier as well. I don't know why family be calling me when I'm on.
That's all good.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm live right now. You messing up my stream right now.
Okay.
But I don't believe that there's such thing as a bad soldier. Everybody has issues.
Everybody made mistakes, man. Nobody's living in this. I mean, if there's a perfect soldier,
I'm listening.
I would love to meet.
I would love to meet him or her too.
I really would, because everyone, we have to grow. You know what I mean? We have to grow, and that personal development, that professional development. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna fall on those trials and tribulations. Those shaking my head moments. That doesn't define our character. That's definitely not going to define our character.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with bad. There's something the bad soldiers. We all come from different walks of life,
right?
Different upbringing, different traits of where we come from, and something that may be normal for a normalcy to one person may not be normal to them. And think about it: when you've been doing something for 18 years, if you come in at 18 and you have to try to conform to this profession, mostly everybody, the average human will have some type of hiccup. So I don't
rehabilitative process, man. It's a rehabilitative process for everyone. I don't expect, the expectations is no leader of all ranks. Mm-hmm. Nobody's sitting off on this, this perfect form of I haven't saw it.
Before we get to the next one, so I see another question is where is the accountability in the process when leaders don't effectively develop through counseling? I'm gonna let you have it, Top.
Where is the accountability? Well, it all depends on what level. Now, I can't. It all depends on what level. I know that as a first sergeant, you're going to have that accountability check. You're going to have that sergeant major. You're going to have that XO. You're going to have your XO. If they got the matrix set up, you know what I mean? Top, hey, what's up with the counseling on such and such? You know what I mean? Or hey, there's checks and balances on this stuff. I mean, to include yourself, you should have your own NCOIC, staff sergeant type, set you up a, Excel spreadsheet. Somebody should have it passed down, through the, so you can get one or whatever. You input the name, change, whatever the case may be, and that stuff will roll on in and cycle through. So I think that's how, that's an accountability process. That could definitely help. But set reminders. I mean, accountability. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get into the weeds of it, but I'll just say, some of this stuff is, we just, we could do a better job at. We could definitely do a better job at.
My dad always taught me, and most of everybody that know me know when I speak of when I say my dad, it's most likely my biological dad, but my grandfather raised me from when I was a kid.
Okay.
My grandmother.
Okay.
And I've even heard my biological dad tell me this oftentimes, because his dad, which raised me, taught them the same thing.
Right.
Is we make what we want to make important to us.
There we go.
Trust me, because we will bend over backwards for something that we want to do.
Right.
But when it comes to somebody else or the betterment of somebody else, we're slow to take the rim or take the lead on that because it is of no importance to us. It's just something that has to be done, or it's not on my priority list. It's not on my priority list. Yeah. My bad, Tom.
Nah, you good, man. Take your time.
I guess it was important. But we make what's important. Yeah, that's family. We make what's important to us number one. And there's nothing wrong with it, but we've forgotten like selfless service. I want to. We got to get into the next topic, but
let's go.
When it comes to servant leadership,
oh man,
you very seldomly see, and a lot of people. Let's be honest, they talk the talk. You know, hey, I'm a servant leader, but what do you think, in your own opinion, your own professional thoughts, what it means to be a servant leader?
Man. I mean, I'm just getting my words right, formulating before I talk. What it means to be a servant leader.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's committed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They have a strong desire to see one become better than them. And last but not least, someone who is selfless, but they hold not only themselves accountable. Well, excuse me. They hold not only the ones around them accountable, but they hold themselves accountable. And when I mean the second point, when you want to see somebody do better than you, that's the best feeling, man. I mean, honestly, I look at it like the PT test. You know, at first I used to be the one shooting past my sergeant major, my colonels, and they would cheer me on. Right? They would say, "Keep going." You know what they say?
Yeah.
Keep going to the point. You know, or run to the pole. And it just and then it dawned on me, right? I'm doing the same thing. So if a soldier that I grew up with, that I came into the military with, passes me and does well, hey man, I did my job. If I see his or her doing, nothing is more satisfying to me to see someone grow, achieve that next rank. Because in life, man, I'm a faith guy. I hate to turn that part into it, but I believe blessings, man, they come back around. You know what I mean? When you cheering and rooting for nobody, and you know, and I don't want nothing in return. I just want to see you go.
I just want to see you get it. Yeah.
I just want to see you win. I'm not the type of leader. Oh, if you win, I'm winning. No, if you win, we all win.
Yeah.
All win.
Yeah.
I'm cheering you on. Go. Keep going. Don't stop. It didn't even stop here. Did you realize that? You got some more to do. But keep going. And when you do it right, pay it forward. Yeah. Pay it forward. And so when you have that mind, that's a mindset you got to get into. But I tell leaders this all the time. If this was your child, would you apply that same energy? You would want somebody to apply that same energy, right?
I know that's right. Yep.
This was your child, your teenager here, 18, 19 years old. You would want that same energy applied, right? So that's how you got to think about it sometimes. You know?
So I'm going to say this, and then we're going to get to this question here. When I think of servant leadership, I'm going to tell you this. I thought about two things when the Army first brought this thing about servant leadership.
Right.
Anybody that's close to me, family, close friends, they know I'm a Fresh Prince lover. I love to watch Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm.
When I thought of servant leadership, I thought about Jeffrey, the butler. Mm-hmm. The butler makes sure everybody is taken care of before he takes care of himself.
Hey, that's a true statement.
Listen, that might not have did it for you all. I'm not saying, but this is just the mind according to the professional SGL. When the Army first introduced servant leadership, that's the first thing I thought about was Jeffrey, the butler on Fresh Prince.
Right.
He made sure everybody was taken care of before he took care of himself.
Right.
I never saw Jeffrey sit at the table and eat with the family.
Never.
But he made sure everybody ate.
Right.
They would bring him their homework, bring them their laundry, bring them their essay paper, bring them their hey, I need you to drop this off. I need you to go pick this up. And he had to cook dinner.
Right.
He said, I'm trying to paint this picture like you said. Yeah. He was an NCO in that vision that I looked at.
Yeah.
But he was a servant leadership. Right. And then the second thing I thought about my grandfather, my dad, right. They're pastors.
Right.
My uncle's a pastor. And they have their normal jobs.
Right.
My dad didn't work in the chemical plant. My grandfather retired. And then they still had to serve the people at the church. Mm-hmm. And you know, the late night calls of having to go because this family member died and this church member is in the hospital and they had to go there. And then watch this. They still had to make sure the house was taken care of.
Right.
When I thought of servant leadership, those are the two things I thought about. Right. Jeffrey, and my grandfather, my dad, and my uncle them as being pastors.
That's powerful.
That they had so much on them, but they still had to make sure that the house, Jeffrey had to make sure that the house was right. The NCO had to make sure that the house, I still got to take care of me.
Still got to, right.
But I got to serve you first.
Right. Right.
That did it for me when I thought about it.
Wow, man, that's a testimony, man. You got to write that in the book, brother.
I mean, you know, I got 2 books pending. I wasn't trying to put that out there, you know, but there's the professional SGL. I'm on it.
Hey, man, professional arms, man. I salute you, man. That's great. That's definitely great.
So we got Mr. Tito says, do you think that the type of leadership used depends on the kind of soldiers you have, or you use the same type of leadership along your career? Now, while you gather your thoughts, I'm going to say this because this is a true story. I disagree because not every soldier is the same.
Right.
And not every unit is the same. So before I came to the academy, I was a young detachment sergeant, young staff sergeant, detachment sergeant.
Right.
And I had to learn the difference between adjusting my leadership style and changing who I was. I didn't have to change who I was, but I had to adjust my leadership style because what worked at 274 regulators wasn't gonna be the same leadership style I had to apply at the academy. Go ahead.
Right. No, that's a great point. And I learned that at Fort Lee. When I was at Bravo Company, 23rd Quartermaster Brigade, 266 Quartermaster Battalion, Bravo Company. Standards and discipline, you know, was at its all-time high, you know, dealing with the leaders, the service members, the soldiers that we had. Mm-hmm. You know, and then, you know, I was in the trenches where the platoon sergeant, you know, transition on over to the drill sergeants. That's a great question. But as a leader, you have to change within the environment that you're, you know. Yeah. When I was the first sergeant in Bravo Company, I was this way, right? Mm-hmm. I kept the same principles, right? Mm-hmm. But when I went to the NCO Academy, my whole mindset had to change. Like I can't address these top tier non-commissioned officers here as small group leaders the same way as I deal, or the students. I can't address the students here and the non-commissioned officers the same way that we were down at with the AIT soldiers. It's a different mindset. And with that culture mindset, you still bring standards and discipline, right? You still bring standards and discipline, but you have to, you know, find within your own self, you know, do some self-development, some professional development to say, okay, how can I get maximum effectiveness out of this staff sergeant, out of this Armed First Class, to be able to help this staff sergeant and this sergeant first class, one, understand the vision, understand the mission statement. They still understand that, but more importantly, they understand my type of leadership philosophy on how we can be successful and help these students graduate and walk across that stage. So I had to learn it in a heartbeat, man, because you don't want what you don't want to be as a leader is that I hate to use this word, but you don't want to have that, not toxic, but I'll use a better choice of word. You have to use a different type of influence, and that influence of the mindset to say, okay, how I'm going to translate the same end state, right? Ends, ways, means, right?
Yep.
Ways, means. All right. Now I have to understand that my words have a different setting of a meaning now, and on how I'm engaging non-coms at this level, and seniors and dealing with staff sergeants majors and sergeants majors at a different level. So it's just all about having a different mindset. And I tell a lot of NCOs all the time, man, hey, get in a dictionary, read some books. Leaders are readers. So I challenge NCOs all the time. Hey, you definitely got to change your mindset. But a lot of times what I saw with NCOs, Hicks, that get caught up in that is the intent versus the impact. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of, those things in those gray areas, and the intent versus the impact could definitely get you scuffed up, get you scuffed up a lot.
Okay. Looks like we got another question.
And they dropping these leadership questions tonight.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get to the last topic, because I do have to make a call here
that's all good.
About something that's going on within the family. But to everybody that's out there, it's nothing serious of death or anything. But I am gonna have to get ready to wrap things up. But does a permanent profile take away from an NCO to be an effective leader?
No.
So I will talk on this, because I came up when the Army said that if you were on a permanent profile, you could not be in a leadership position. I am a product of to say that yes, you can. And the reason I say that is because my brigade sergeant major at the time and my brigade commander, and I'm going to call their names, my brigade commander at the time, who is now the COT, Brigadier General Gerald P. Helwig, was my brigade commander, and Command Sergeant Major Summers was my brigade sergeant major. Knew that I had a permanent profile. I was still placed in the detachment sergeant position. Now, it actually, you know what? It was before General Helwig came on. Sergeant Major Summers was still out. It was Colonel Costin.
Okay.
But when the brigade commander came in, General Helwig, of course, what does he do? He sits down with all the first sergeants and the commanders.
Right.
He wants to know about you.
That's powerful.
Yeah. So I am one to say, Staff Sergeant Bradley, it can be done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't use my permanent profile as a crutch.
Right.
And let's be honest, when we was at the academy, we ran.
Hey, we ran.
Now, now Sergeant Major Staggers and the Sergeant Major Smalls and them, they knew I had a permanent profile. Right. But when the academy took off running, or the branch took off running, I was the first one out there marching this calling cadence. And that first mile, I'm giving you the business.
Yeah.
And then I'll cut back, drop down in the drop down in the first. Right. And I let them go on and go, because I couldn't break my profile, but I still got out there and I did something. That's my thought process on it.
Man, that's a great question. That's definitely a great question. But no, that does not take away from an NCO to be an effective leader. So I would answer that as no. What are some of my book recommendations? Oh, Babino.
Okay.
It's my battle buddy out there. But I'll give someone right now a great book to read. Great book to read. I would say this book right here, The Leadership Secrets of Colin Powell. It's definitely a good book.
Okay.
Say it right here. Great book. Any of your John C. Maxwell, yeah, that one right there.
I read this one.
I haven't read that book. I definitely have not read that book.
He was a guest on the show.
Oh wow.
A first sergeant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely read that book. It was good. It was a good book.
I would I mean, man, I don't like to just drop books per se in regards to names, but I'll just say I'll definitely say John C. Maxwell, his leadership books definitely taught me a lot on how to talk to people, instead of at leaders. I think that definitely helped me out a lot to say, okay, instead of talking at my soldiers, I need to talk to my soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So, those books I definitely recommend anyone to read, and it definitely, good professional and personal growth.
Okay. So we gonna let's hit on it.
Okay.
Real quick. So you are an entrepreneur while still in the military.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, you can do anything that you put your mind to. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And two, through effective counseling,
mm-hmm.
The leaders that I've had the opportunity to serve with have given me, that room where I can do my entrepreneurship movement to to be able to influence and definitely be effective as an entrepreneur. I got into the entrepreneurship world as a realtor, and once I got my real estate license in the state of Virginia, after that it just took off. It definitely took off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's it coming? If you want to just
a
tad bit. I got a few minutes. I want you to at least scratch the surface and tell us. As a Master Sergeant in the United States Army, you're an entrepreneur. You like how's that working out?
Well, first things first, I would tell any leader of all ranks, you can, with transitioning now, there's definitely 3 areas you can definitely transition into if you have yet to definitely know about that. Tap into your Soldier for Life TAPS Transition Assistance Program. But for me, the entrepreneurship side is near to my heart because, once I'm done hanging up my uniform, I'm definitely going to go ahead and continue to stand on this leap of faith and take my talents to, I own my own LLC, the P. Wesley Group. It's named after my grandmother, Patricia Wesley Almy. She died in 1996 of leukemia. So my proceeds go definitely 10% of my proceeds go back to the American Cancer Society. Mm-hmm. And then also as well, I have my own clothing line up under my LLC collection, and I have 7 values, but 6 of them are right now currently published. Right now, I recently just got back one of them trademarked. I'm waiting for the other ones to come back trademarked, and I recently also have one of them copywritten as well. So I would definitely tell any service member, if you're going to go the entrepreneurship route, first things first, ensure that you talk to your chain of command, talk to your first line supervisor, your first sergeant and your company commander, so that they can counsel you appropriately. And also as well, make sure you talk to your battalion commander and your battalion CSM. And then once you go on out there, you can go ahead and tap into your local community business center at your local whatever city and state you're located in. Sit down and get into some classes. And once you get into some classes, they're going to be able to provide you the resources that can definitely help you take off. But more importantly, I tell anybody this: if you're really serious about it, and you're not in it to make a quick dollar, get your stuff, trademark. And the reason why I say get it trademark is so that, you got to think about the legacy of your family, what you're going to leave behind for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you putting it in that will, for whoever in regards to your family, however you got that set up, that's definitely going to set, that second and third order effects for them out in the future, and definitely help them out, So I just definitely, I have a lot of great admiration and great respect for, some key folks that I've been thankful, been blessed to rub shoulders with. But more importantly, any service member can definitely do it, and we all are leaders, as natural leaders. Once you're in the military, I think you are a leader regardless of the rank that you are, So,
Okay.
That's what it's definitely all about. But tell them to check me out. I'm ChristianDion.com, or you can follow me on social media here at Facebook. You can friend me or whatever, as long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, I'll accept it. You can follow me at I am Christian D Price, or you can check out my collection at Christian Dion Collection on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to accept it. But I'll also tell the service members out there, all soldiers as well, set you up a LinkedIn account, because it's gonna be a day, whether you've been in 3 years, 6 years, or 30 something years, you're gonna have to transition. So I would definitely tell you, highly recommend set you up a LinkedIn account and get connected with some good folks out there, so you can go ahead and take care of your spouse and your family, or if you don't have a family and a spouse, you're ready to take care of yourself. All right.
I will say this to you. I was going to hold this to the 6th year anniversary or birthday of NCOPD Live, which is on the 14th of June. But I'm going to say this because I remember I asked you about this. So, NCOPD Live, the professional SGL, and hashtag TPSGL.
Yes,
I own the rights to that now.
Hey man, congratulations.
So I own the rights.
Hey man,
to NCOPD Live. I own the rights to Spelled Out, the professional SGL, and I own the rights to hashtag TPSGL.
Smart man.
Because I remember when I talked to y'all, like, I'm thinking about waiting until I get out the Army, and you was like, you don't gotta wait. Like, you can do this. It's not because I'm not gaining any revenue from the Army.
Yeah.
With that.
Right.
So I took your advice, did some research, and called some people, that I knew that was, well connected, and they put me in contact with this agent, this guy, and before I know it, he told me what I had to do, and
congratulations, man.
It didn't take that long. Now, I had to put out some, I mean, it was what I knew that I was going to be doing this,
right?
So it was well worth it to do it. So I definitely thank you, because you definitely gave me you pointed me in the right direction. You did. You pointed me in the right direction, because I was going to wait on it to do it to after I retired. And you definitely pointed me. So I definitely want to give you kudos on that.
To cut you off, but this is what I want you to do, because we're doing it out here for everyone right now who's viewing. Pay it forward, man. Pay it forward. I have a great mentor of mine, a few men, shall I say, and our slogan is one in particular. I won't say his name, but he always tells me to pay it forward.
I know who you're talking about.
And I'm serious, brother. It's not a, I pay it forward to everyone. It's each one teach one. If like servant leadership, I want to see you win. Hey, look, if you win, it's not if I win, we all win. You know what I mean? And if I'm able to see you keep running, because I'm cheering you on. I'm like, hey, brother, you making millions? I'm good at making thousands. Family's good. I got a nice house, retirement, disability. I got a couple of checks spread out different places. Brother, we are great. And I tell the same thing. Sister, we are great. You keep going. You keep paying it forward. And as long as you pay it forward, man, and have that each one teach one mindset, man, I'm telling you, brother, you will do triple, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths. Your success is on everyone. You know, it's not just because of, hey, I followed, you know, Masson Price and I listened to his word. No, you trusted me, you believed in me, you know, and you saw that, okay, this gentleman is tried, true, and tested. I need to go follow him, listen to his word, and you took it off. You did the work. You know, some people don't even do the work. I know a lot of people right now, they have all this resources of information, and then what do? They blame others. They say, oh, well, such and such did. No, we did. I gave you implied tasks. You know what I mean? I gave you implied, hey, the $1 million is right there, but this is what you got to do. You know, and I always tell people this, man, we all have genius level talent. We all are Michael Jordans. We just got to tap into it. We all are GOATs. You know, we all greats. We just got to tap into it. And once you tap into it, you do it consistently. And once you do it consistently and you pay it forward and you sharp others around you, man, it's powerful. It's influential.
I like how you said that. So this right here, NCOPD, I want to be the GOAT at this. I want to be the GOAT at the #1 social media platform, professional development on social media.
Speaking into an existence right now.
Yeah, I am. It's been said.
Yeah.
But my pay it forward is because I realize that it ain't about me.
Correct.
I'm giving it because those that's coming behind me, or even those that are in front of me, could take something away from this platform and say, hey, I can use this to better my unit. I can use this to better my section, or better my squad. You know, that's what it's all about.
Unit cohesion. Unit cohesion.
Yeah.
I'm
not trying to downplay nobody else. If somebody come up with a better platform than mine, I'm pushing you. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Going. Right.
Yeah. What you say? Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Don't forget about me though. But keep going.
This is my pay it forward right here. NCOPD Live.
Hey, pay it forward. That's all we do, man. But I definitely. Hey, in regards to, you know, the counseling and leadership, man, you know, I drop one more gem, man. Distribute the stress. You know, as leaders, if you learn how to distribute the stress and being able to take a deep breath and come back with your leaders sitting around you all at the table and say, hey, look, you know, I've been where you're at. I know exactly how you're feeling. I know exactly what you're going through. All right. Hey, that right there, and you trust the people around you, man. If you trust right there, man, dude, you know, that right there, man, that'll supersede itself, bro. That alone will supersede itself, man. But hey, that's it, man. That's it, man.
So before, I can't let you go just like that. So
go ahead,
I always give the guests closing remarks if it's something that you want to say to the followers or what your closing remarks.
Wow. I tell everyone this, man, you know, hey, you know, leadership is a contact sport. It requires daily attention. Great units do routine things routinely, and don't let the analysis cause paralysis. CG, and I saw that right there, and that just stood out to me wholeheartedly. But last one is trust but verify, and treat all your soldiers with dignity and respect. Treat all your service members with dignity and respect, and always exude that outstanding character that you have, and say second and third order effects. How will this affect my family, the unit, my soldiers, my peers, my seniors, all up above me, up and down, you know? And we're not perfect. You know what I mean? We're not perfect. We're all human. We're gonna make a mistake. But I'm I'm definitely a standing in front of someone right now, you know, or whoever, is that, you know, I made some mistakes in life, but I bounced back. And you can definitely you can do anything that you put your mind to, you know. But you gotta have some love, and you gotta have some faith, but more importantly, you gotta trust yourself and spread love to others. I would definitely tell everyone that. Definitely spread love to others.
Well, my closing remarks is to you. Once again, I appreciate you coming onto the platform, taking time. You could have been doing something else, but I definitely appreciate you coming onto the platform, sharing your thoughts and your ideas with myself and the NCOPD Live followers. So I definitely really do appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. It's my pleasure. It's definitely my pleasure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another great episode of NCOPD Live, hosted by yours truly, Staff Sergeant Hicks, hashtag the professional SGL. Listen, before we end any type of NCOPD Live session, everybody say it with me. I'm pretty sure you probably don't know it yet, but I tell everybody, I'm going to get them to start saying it with me. If you see something wrong and you fail to do something about it, you have just created a new standard. Amen. And at the end of the day, their issue is never with you, but their issue is with the standard.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that. It's never with you, though. It's with the standard.
With the standard. That's a true statement.
This has been yours truly, Staff Sergeant Hicks, along with my special guest tonight, Master Sergeant Christian D. Price. I just asked one thing, Master Sergeant, before we go sometime tonight, you can type your links and your Instagram and pages on the comments, so those that may want to follow you will be able to follow you, okay?
I definitely do that, man.
Other than that, everybody, we will see you all Saturday for a special edition of NCOPD Live. Since this is Mental Health Awareness Month,
yes,
we're going to be hosting a forum on Saturday with Sergeant Major Jason Van Cleet. He was a staff sergeant, and during the time when he was a staff sergeant, he was contemplating suicide and depression. And he's going to talk about the whole thing about behavioral health, the stigmas behind it, and he's possibly going to share his story.
Wow.
To show you that, hey, this is real and we can get through this. So join me on Saturday for a special edition.
I gotta check that out, man. Thank you, bro.
Noon Eastern. It's something you can do when you get up on Saturday, you doing your little cleaning around the house, have it on your little, going on your phone, and you can be listening to what we talking about. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Master Sergeant, you have a great night. NCOPD Live, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you all on Saturday. Staff Sergeant Hicks, like you say, 2 fingers.
Peace.